slide. Can we back that up? This is Shawn, Lani, and this is Adam Green. Not Shawn, Lani, he's Adam Green. We're from the Exploratorium Studio for Public Spaces. We're talking about pause, but I'd like to go back to the first slide. I'm going to zoom back real fast. We're from a museum called the Exploratorium. This is a kind of learning laboratory. It's not a traditional museum. And what we do is we think about learning as a cultural pursuit of what we collectively value. We believe that the only way people know the world is by getting their hands on the world. So that's an important aspect of our work, and it's an important aspect of what we do, which is combine this notion of education and learning with placement. This is Market Street. Market Street is a kind of freeway for people. There's only off-ramps. There's not a lot of interaction. The city of San Francisco came to us and asked us to see if we can impact this space in some way. So we went out and we talked to people on the street, and we got a lot of ideas, a lot of sketch sessions. And when we looked at the ideas in the round, it was pretty clear that people mostly just wanted to connect with each other. They wanted something to do. They wanted some way of interacting on Market Street. So we came up with this. This is called Pause. There's two listening vessels. They're 50 feet apart. And you can sit in one of these listening vessels and whisper and talk very quietly. And your voice appears in the other person's ears. It focuses sound. We put it right in the middle of Market Street because it's a lot to ask for people to stop on Market Street. All we really wanted people to do was pause. Just pause. Give us a moment and see what happens. Getting them to talk to each other was actually easier than it looks. This woman sat in one of the dishes and didn't realize that she was in the installation. So she's sitting there, and this little family rolls up, and this little girl with her family, and the little girl starts to talk to her. The mother goes to the other dish, and they start to have a chat. And now she's chatting away, and they talk for about 2 or 3 minutes, and they go, and now they're friends, and she says goodbye, and the family rolls away, and then another woman walks along, and she starts to explain to her what's going on. She didn't even know she was in the exhibit a couple minutes before. Not only that, she stands there and helps the next 2 or 3 people understand what's going on, to get them to enjoy it as much as she did. We don't tell people what to do. In fact, what we do is create a set of circumstances in public space that allows people to make that space their own. They act creatively, and in a sense, this is a kind of wrecking ball for the social norms on Market Street.
So how does a project like this scale? Well, as an educational institution, we are all about models. In fact, we've spent millions of dollars with the National Science Foundation to create models for our other programs and curriculum. But in this case, we're talking about a civic design tool. So this project was done as part of Better Market Street, which is really a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to reimagine the backbone of the cultural backbone of San Francisco with the planning department. And when the city came to us, they asked us, as Shawn mentioned, to create a space for gathering. And our project, in contrast to some of the other strategies the city was using, more the temporary ephemeral installations, festivals, had a longer lifespan that really allowed the experience to shake out and for our giant cohort of community and civic partners to get the feedback necessary over 2 years of how this experience impacted their landscape. In addition, we're continuing to do that loop by doing another project in UN Plaza, arguably a more challenging location. It's been called a place where good design comes to die.
Miserably.
Pretty miserably. But our installation is up and running there as well. And we're getting an immense amount of feedback from the stewards and other participants that have experienced this. And all that feedback goes into that planning process to ensure that what comes next is a better Market Street. So in the end, what we've done is we've taken what we know best, place-based learning, and we're applying it to what we think is the most important thing, which is the city's challenges with public space. Thank you.
Thank you.
So people are engaging with the project, the exhibit. How are you seeing it impact the way people are engaging around it, even if they're not standing in the dish?
Yeah, it was specifically designed so that there's benches on both sides. People love to watch other people figure things out. People love to watch when people get that moment of understanding, and they like to see. It's a bit of theater there. And so we designed it so that not only can you sit in the dishes and sit on the benches, as you walk through the middle of those 2 dishes, that sound is blasting you. So you hear 2 people talking suddenly in your ear, and then you pass on through. So there's no real way to avoid this thing completely.
it seems to me like it's very entertaining. It's like a moment of entertainment walking down Market Street and people engage and go, isn't that cool? And they keep going. And then some of the other projects you showed was like, oh, this is fun. I'm looking through this big viewfinder. But, what is sort of the lasting impact of this? Market Street is incredibly contested. We were working on it like 10, 15 years ago. There's still a lot of work going underway. How is this project, is this project designed to actually fit into and help address the myriad of issues and challenges in that space, or is this, which is valid as well, more of sort of a diversion or just a way to make the space feel less threatening and unmanaged?
That's totally fair. I think that what you don't want to do is create an all-in-one solution. What this thing does very well, it gets people from various parts of life to talk to each other. It humanizes Market Street. And humanizing a space is the only way to save a space. So you need those excuses and those points of contact in order to transform space. That's enough for us. That's our job, to work with partners to get that done.
Can you talk a little bit about who the stewards are and what their role is?
So MGM management takes care of the dishes physically. They have people that work from the community who act as kind of social agents to help people along. They don't chase people off. They help people along. So let them know where the services are if they need help. They take care of the aesthetics of the place and the kind of functionality of the place. So it flows. Everything on Market Street takes care. And the reason Market Street looks so stripped threadbare is because there's not a lot of care. So they just keep taking things away until it's just a free thing.
And it's, it's worth mentioning that the UN Plaza one that's just started has a different stewardship model with Hunters Point Family, which is a workforce development program, and they're there all the time. And they are, not just stewards, but they're actually cultural ambassadors for all the, if you've been to UN Plaza, you've got a lot of different activity. So they're mediators, they're de-escalators, they are hugely impactful, and then they're also evolving their own workforce capabilities.
I was just saying that engagement, the design process, was this design, was it done by artists? Did you come up with it? Did it come out of a community engagement where, like, listening, interact, like, did you take the word? How did these particular objects come to be, and who was involved in?
Yeah, it's a long story. I'm going to tell it really short. Okay. Doug Hollis came up with those dishes 30 years ago at the Exploratorium. We knew they worked inside. So we've been testing this idea for many years inside the museum. The space was all navigated through multiple city agencies. Where might we go? How might we maximize our impact? And then combining what we've heard on the street, which is people want to have exchanges, they want to talk to each other. We wrapped all of that up internally. We have an architect, a landscape architect, and designers. And we tested some early versions. We built it in-house, and then we installed it.
And for both of the installations, we really had to work with all the community partners to kind of figure out how it would work in the round with how they were using the space. So there was a lot of that type of finagling to make sure that it would be successful for everyone.
Thank you.